Greetings, everyone. Thank you for attending our webinar today about the Boarding School Healing Scholarship. My name is David Bledsoe. I'm the Senior Manager of Communications Engagement for the American Indian College Fund, and appreciate all of you for attending to learn more about this new opportunity, which actually just started last year. But before we get any further, we actually have one of our student ambassadors who is studying to be a counselor and serve those with generational trauma. He's going to open us with a prayer and song. So let me start the video of our student ambassador, Gerald Red Buffalo.
Ho, Midakiapi. Shante washte yuha nape chuzapiro. My name is Gerald Red Buffalo. I greet all you relatives with a warm handshake. I am from the Sisseton Wapton Oyate. It's a Sioux tribe located in the upper east corner of South Dakota. I am currently a third-year student at the Sisseton Wapton College, pursuing my degree in behavioral science, focusing on intergenerational trauma, psychology. I would like to pursue my master's in that field when I'm done here. My heart and my focus with my education and the energy I want to put into helping my people is to start a healing process that all of us have experienced from what our people went through generations ago. And it's still affecting us today. And it's evident in how our people are struggling with addictions and mental health and everything, the health disparities that come along with poverty. So I dedicated my education and my life's work to being a part of that healing process. So I encourage all of you guys to take note and to make a difference within your community the best you can in regards to that. So with that being said, I would like to offer a prayer in my Dakota language to bless this event and all that are going to learn what they can from this. So let us take a moment for prayer here. Ho wakantanka tukashira tate topana jimaka wakan oyate mini oyate wambri greshka oyate na wiochpiata wakia oyate o unkiapi etaha nina ushidayapiro apeto kire washte nina wopira tanka ejichapiro oyate ki wakanja tewicha ki hidapi heched tunkashira makoche omanipi wotapi chekiapo oyate o aye ki wana washte etaha wa unspe wa kantie unki tanta hapido hokna o aye wa yanke tunkashira wa oke unki apido ungdushkapi ki oda e ki chik tu japido tukashira wakantanka uya ki apikta ioki hiwashte unkuapiro tukashira unki api cha pira uyapido tukashira hohechetiro. Grandfather, creator, our grandfathers in the four directions and Mother Earth, all sacred beings from the water nation to the eagle nation and the thunder beings in the west, please help us, for we are pitiful. We thank you very much for this beautiful day you have given us. Our native people love our children dearly. Therefore, Grandfather, I ask that you bless the grounds they walk upon, for they are our future. The advancement of our people is good now because we are seeking a higher education. In this direction, we are making progress. Grandfather, I ask that you continue to help us with these endeavors. Grandfather, forgive us for our mistakes. We are only human and we make many. Creator, I ask that you continue to help us all. Grandfather, we thank you for all the blessings we receive. Oh, at this time, I would like to share a song, and I want to translate this song when I'm done singing here. Oh, ya te wa ya ki lo ya. Oh, ya te ma ka se ta ne ya wa le na wa ka ye. Ie ki ya ya ya. Ie ki ya ya. Ao ki pa po yo. Ao ki pa po yo. Hai. Oh, ya te wa ya ki lo ya. Oh, ya te ma ka se ta ne ya wa le na wa ka ye. He ki ya ya ya. He ki ya ya ya. Ao ki pa po yo. Ao ki pa po yo. Hai. Oh, my relatives, this song is asking the people to look at everything in this world because it has life and it is sacred. It is asking you to make it yours and take care of it. Treat it with respect, and this world will provide for you. Oh, oh, my relatives, thank you for allowing me to share a part of my culture with you.
Let's thank Gerald for that special way to start our event and to center us and the purpose of the scholarship and what we're trying to accomplish. Next, I'd like to introduce the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition, Samuel Torres, and he's going to speak a little bit about how this scholarship came about and the purposes behind it. So Samuel, please introduce yourself and take over.
So Kamati, Miak, David, thank you so much for having us today, for having me introduce some of our work, as well as this partnership and the relationship that we have with the College Fund to be able to put on this scholarship. So I'll just begin with introducing myself in my language of Nahuatl. Tonalte iwan shimopanol. Unceded lands of the Keech Nation. It looks like we lost a little bit of sound, so.
I think we can hear you now. I don't know if it was your buds or what it was.
Thank you. I was getting some feedback from the office. So can we hear now? All right. I'm gonna go ahead and it looks like the theme of the day is old school. We're gonna keep it old school. So all right. So I was born on the unceded lands of the Keech Nation, often described as the Tongva peoples in Califas, Southern California region in Los Angeles. Currently live on Dakota land in St. Paul, Minnesota. And most of my family is from Zacatecas, Mexico. I am the Deputy Chief Executive Officer for the National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition. I have been serving NABS since 2019. And again, as has been mentioned, we are really grateful for this opportunity to work with the College Fund. Just a little bit about our organization, NABS for short. The mission of NABS is to lead in the pursuit of understanding and addressing the ongoing trauma created by the U.S. Indian boarding school policy. Essentially, our work and the work of the coalition in general is centered around seeking truth, justice, and healing for survivors and descendants of Indian boarding schools. And we do that through a variety of different ways. If you visit our website at boardingschoolhealing.org, we have a lot of resources, education in the classroom, education for oneself, and as well as education for policymakers and tribal leaders, where we are currently supporting and advocating for a bill that we co-wrote in both the House of Representatives and the Senate, HR 5444 and Senate Bill 2907, which is the Truth and Healing Commission Bill on U.S. Indian Boarding School Policies Act. And we have a lot of really important positive support from a variety of both Democratic and Republican Congress people, but we're always looking for more. So if you, of course, one of the calls to action, one of the things that everybody can do on this call, in addition to, of course, this learning more about the scholarship, is reaching out to your own Congress people in your own areas and educating them about the bill. That's something that is a collective struggle, a coalition. So again, you can learn more on our website at boardingschoolhealing.org/Truth Commission, or you can find it on our advocacy tab. And again, that's HR 5444 and Senate Bill 2907. And so, yeah, it looks like we have some other staff members on the webinar right now who can drop some links in the chat. We appreciate that. We're really grateful for our partners at the College Fund for their role in facilitating and organizing this opportunity to support Native youth, Native students, scholars, folks who we know are still deeply impacted by the legacy of the U.S. Indian boarding school policy. As a part of this partnership, we want to uplift our youth as they seek to restore traditional lifeways, reclaim their education, and to heal their families and communities and nations. We understand that boarding schools have disrupted so many the lifeways, the ways of being, the ways of knowing, and traditional family structures. And so we are hoping to be able to support in every way that we can. And this is a small part of that. Also, just bringing people into the circle. We are a coalition, a healing coalition. And we understand that boarding schools have impacted all of us. And through this opportunity to get to know each other, to introduce each other as relatives, as folks that that have been impacted by these policies, we know that our kinship is strong, and that we can continue to widen our circle and to go forward in a good way. So just briefly in closing for me in this moment right now, I just wanted to share that last year we were able to support 20 students with the scholarship, and this year we're happy to share that we're expanding our commitment to 25. And we hope that this opportunity, that this scholarship through the application and the portion in the application that is asking students to have deeper dialogues and conversations with their relatives. We hope that is a positive gift to share with your own families. So again, to learn more about our work, please visit us at boardingschoolhealing.org. And I know we'll go over some other items, eligibility questions and concepts like that, but just really grateful to be connected with each of you. Please reach out to us. We are active on social media accounts. Feel free to also fill out membership applications, which are free, probably the easiest way to keep in touch with all that we are doing. Yes, Laso Kamati Miak, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Samuel. We're so appreciative of the time you've given today to kind of inform us more about your work and outreach. And we appreciate so much the College Fund does in being able to administer this really important tool. You know, the scholarship is obviously just one part of a lot of things that you're doing, but an important part. And I'm going to get right into that right now as far as what it takes to actually apply for this specific scholarship. And then we'll be hearing from one of our scholars from last year, from Terry, who's waiting patiently to kind of share some of her experience from this past year. So our college application is at collegefund.org/scholarships. That's where you can find that. And I'm going to kind of take you through very quickly just the specific parts that have to do with getting into the scholarship and how you apply for that. So just some general information about our Full Circle Scholarship, which is our main scholarship program. The application is open right now, and that is for the 2022-2023 school year. So if you're applying right now, that's going to be for next school year that starts in the fall. The application deadline for that scholarship is May 31st. So you still have a little bit of time, but don't wait too long. And as I mentioned before, you can apply at collegefund.org. Let me talk about some of the eligibility for the scholarship. You must be a US citizen. You must be a tribal member or descendant of a state or federally recognized tribe. You must have a 2.0 GPA, and you must be attending a nonprofit accredited school in the United States, which that's most higher education institutions. You must also be a full-time student, but I want to highlight that there is no financial need necessary to apply for our scholarship opportunity. Now, when you go to our main scholarships page and you start the scholarship, we're actually using a new system this year called WiseHive. And if you haven't applied for us before, you'll have to set up a new account. And actually, all of those who applied previously will also have to set up a new account because we are using this new system. This is what it will look like when you get to that page. You'll basically set up an account, you'll sign up right here. That will create a profile for you. And then once you've finished creating your profile, you'll see this page. It says, welcome to your American Indian College Fund portal. This is kind of your main dashboard page. And here at the bottom, you see this little plus sign here. It says get started. That's where you'll actually start your application. Once you do your profile, there's still a lot of work, and there's some additional links to materials here that can kind of help you with your application, but this is where you'll actually click to start your application. Now, once you do that, you'll see several sections that you have to complete. The main one being this one at the top, which says scholarship application. And that's what I'm going to go through right now just to show you about the boarding school healing scholarship. So once you go into that application section, they'll be listing a lot of basic information that you have about yourself, your address, where you're going to school, your grades, all that type of thing. But you can see as you come down, there's a question that says, are you a descendant of a boarding school survivor? And when you click yes, when you click this yes button, you'll get a spot here for you to basically tell us about your your relative who attended boarding school and what their experiences were. You'll have up to 300 words to do that. And let's just kind of look at that question now and what we're looking for and talk a little bit about that. So once you get that, it says, submit your essay of at least 500 words, explain your parent, grandparent, or guardian's boarding school experience, how it impacted them and you or other descendants, and identify what boarding school they attended, if possible, and what years. We don't require any type of proof that you had relatives that attended a boarding school. We really just want you to share the experiences of the relatives that they have sent to you and how it's impacted their life and your life. So consider the following. Did they have a good experience or a negative one? Did they speak their tribal language before they went to boarding school? And were they allowed to speak it there? How did they feel when they came back from boarding school? How did things change for them? how has their boarding school experience affected you and your family? There's a lot that you can share. Everyone's experience is going to be different, both those that experience trauma and their descendants and what has been shared with them. A lot of times that causes very negative communication and sharing within a family. So you can share whatever that specific experience is in your family. The main thing is this is the opportunity for you to share as much as possible about that experience and how it has affected your relatives and you. Now, once you finish the application, I did want to let you know that on that scholarships page, there's a lot of other resources to help you complete the scholarship, because that is obviously just one part of the scholarship application. We want you to be successful. So be sure to explore the application tips and frequently asked questions pages if you have specific questions. And there's a lot of resources and additional webinars, events that we offer, just like this one, that have to do with our general scholarship. And you can find those at collegefund.org/native pathways. Or, we advertise this event and many others on our social media channels. You can also email us at scholarships@collegefund.org or call us during normal business hours at 800-776-3863. So that was very quick. And I want us to have time to hear from Terry, but we will be available to you later to go over those types of things. So I want to introduce Terry, who has been one of our first recipients of this award. She is previously a student at Little Priest Tribal College, but now has moved on to Wayne State, and she's studying business and is also working for a tribal entity, which she can talk a little bit about. But I'd like Terry just to please introduce yourself and just start off by telling us about, how you've received support from the College Fund and how you learned about this scholarship in particular.
Hello, I bid you all a good afternoon. My name is Terry Lee Medina. I am a member of the Winnebago Tribe of Nebraska, and I'm also, my dad is full Santee Sioux. So I'm both a mixture of tribes from both my parents. I reside here in Winnebago. I'm a lifelong tribal member here. I grew up, raised, and have gone to our community school, Little Priest Tribal College. So I was in the child welfare field for about 5 years, and then I switched gears, and now I'm in the business field. So I went back to Little Priest and got my business degree, and I just completed that in December of 2021. So I'll graduate here in May. I'm just about ready to finish my first semester at Wayne State. So Little Priest Tribal College does have like 7 different transfer agreements with different colleges in the surrounding areas. So that's a plus. Kind of go there, get your general classes out of the way, and then go towards your, major, what you want to major in. So I started out here. I work for Ho Chunk Inc. Here in Winnebago, Nebraska. We are the economic development arm for the Winnebago tribe. So if you don't know where Winnebago, Nebraska is, we're about 25 minutes away from Sioux City, Iowa. So we're very close. And then South Dakota is like an hour up the road too. So we're close to all those surrounding areas. So I started off as an intern here, and now I oversee the internship. So my title is the Culture and Youth Education Coordinator. So I'm always recruiting for this scholarship in particular, and for American Indian College Fund, just because it helped me so much throughout my college experience and years. And I'm a single mother to 3. So I mean, just having a less stressful financial burden off my shoulders was very helpful. I oversee like our scholarship that we offer to Winnebago tribal members, and just anything education related and culture related, I kind of do for the company. So if you guys want to know more about it, you guys can always look up our website, hochunkinc.com, and it'll kind of have all my programs that are under me.
That's so great. And actually, Terry has been a long time scholar of the College Fund, and Little Priest as a tribal college is a fantastic institution. It's a great place to start off. But I'd like to talk to you, if you could share a little bit about your personal story. I know it was your grandmother who was a boarding school survivor and that she helped to raise you. Can you talk a little bit about her and share some of her experience
Yes, I'd love to. So my maternal grandmother, I was more or less closely related, or like closely to my mom's family, because we're in Winnebago and that's where we resided. My dad's family I wasn't really close to, but specifically my grandmother, we call it was Gaga is our word for it in our Ho-Chunk language, and then my Dega is my uncle. So I was always brought up around them. My mother was in like graduate school, so we was always at our grandparents' house, and I lived with my grandmother until I was sophomore year of my high school. Just basically learned pretty much everything, just listening to her stories, and she did attend a boarding school, and just the impact it had on her, to the trauma she still went through. And she didn't get to finish school. She got to go to college, she didn't get to go to college. So I think she completed 7th grade, and she was just so traumatized by school in general when, she got taken from her home. Like they came back and got her like twice, and she fled and got back here to the reservation on foot. She like jumped on a train. Like her stories were just so heartfelt that, I always would tell her, because she, passed away 10 years ago from cancer. And in her last days, I was a CNA at the time taking care of her. And I always told her, like, I'm going to go back to college and I'm going to, make something of myself, and I'm going to go to school for you. So that's my spill on it. And just kind of get choked up about it, because it's real, like there's all kinds of different tribal members and students that are affected by this through generational trauma. And just this a scholarship alone, it really helps out, and it is really meaningful that they really took the time to make the scholarship applicable to students that endure this to this day. And so I'm set to graduate next summer from Wayne State. I'll have a bachelor's in human resource management, and then I plan on going for my MBA. So the scholarship alone was just impactful. Like I said, it gave me fewer financial concerns. I had more time to study. I had more time to, discipline myself to get my homework done, take care of my kids. My oldest is a freshman in high school and my youngest is in kindergarten. So I have kids, 3 of them, and in 1st grade. So they're all in school. I encourage them. I'm in and out of our schools here in the community, the college here in the community, just promoting higher education and promoting these scholarships as well. Even my own sibling, one of my siblings go to Little Priest, so I'm always like sending them scholarships, like, here, apply for this, or if you need help, I'll help you, So even as a support for being overseeing scholarships for the company, I do this too. Like, it's my everyday work, and I take great pride in building up higher education to our younger youth, because we have an apprenticeship program that targets junior seniors. So if I get them, we work with them, they get real world experience. So they're in class like the last 2 hours of their school days. Those for the junior and seniors, they get to go and like get work experience here within Ho-Chunk or within Winnebago travel programs. So we help them, and then they go off to school, they come back, they intern for us or intern for me, and then it just we kind of recruit them, and we kind of watch them come up, and then obviously like I foresee that they'll be the future leaders of the company. So I take great pride in the work I do, and then it complements once we start hiring people. Last year I hired on 3 of my interns, so I was pretty proud about that. Now they have like bigger roles in the company. So just building up our tribal members and letting them see that education will take you wherever you want to be, and you can do what you want and be who you want to be if you just set your mind to it.
That's really great. It's so wonderful to see how you're giving back and helping other students to find those same opportunities. One thing I will highlight too, especially with the college fund, is we realize we're probably not the one stop that's going to cover all of your funding and support that you need. Samuel and his organization have great resources as well too. But just like Terry said, we have some great things where we share other scholarship opportunities and things that are out there. There's only obviously 25 students that will receive support through this specific opportunity. Through the college fund, we're supporting thousands of students, but still we receive thousands and thousands more applications. So be sure to explore other opportunities and types of support, either from your tribe, your community, and other organizations. One other thing that I will mention as well too is tribal colleges themselves are really fantastic institutions. They're affordable. Almost no students that leave these institutions have any type of debt, and they have culturally relevant programming and a really family type support for the students that they serve. Can you talk a little bit about your experience at Little Priest College, Terry, and what that was like?
Yeah, so I went to school back in, I think I graduated back in 2011 from Little Priest. So I was American Indian College Fund recipient back then, and I just got my generals out of the way. I started going to school for social work. So I kind of switched gears. I kind of changed my major. It's okay if you change your major like 2-3+ times. It's normal, because now I'm in business and going for my business management degree. But getting funded through them, like I said, was just helpful. And I applied for, if you take your college serious and you get good grades, you get a good GPA, you can write an essay. Those are kind of the top things I always encourage. And we even have like essay preparation classes that we teach in our high schools, that kind of just help them like what to say. Cause some of them are like, gee, what do I say about myself? And that can just, build on everything that you want people to know about you and would like to know. So just getting those top things down and applying for scholarships and applying yourself to apply for those scholarships and believing in yourself and knowing that there's other individuals like these people from American Indian College Fund that are there to help you become better and successful and just grow professionally and personally as well. Because I mean, like it helped me choose my career field, and I really like the career I'm in right now. And I see myself being at the management level. So I'm a mid manager. I'm not like a top manager level, but I am a mid manager right now. So I mean, just from starting off as an intern in the company and then now overseeing it is like kind of like the hometown success story for me. My dad is big in the communities, surrounding areas. He teaches fatherhood is sacred. So, I mean, just trying to live up to his expectation. And my mother has her master's degree in health administration, and just those are that's who I aspire to be like. So those are my role models. My grandmother is my role model. And I, like to think that she's very proud of me. I know she'd be proud of me, and just continuing to be successful in her honor is like a big thing that I really kind of focus my goals on and my higher level goals, and think, well, what would she say to me? If I'm having a hard time, I'm trying to study for a test, it's midnight, you have homework due at 11:59, you're trying to get your assignment done, you kind of just take a break and breathe through it, and just be like, she'd probably tell me to get on my computer and, get your stuff done. So, I mean, just going off that and just basing off my goals and aspirations on my grandmother's memory is very meaningful to me. And then I always like tell stories to my children about my grandparents because they were just little, they don't remember her. So I always try to tell them. I have her picture. I'm sitting here on my office of when I'm having a bad day at work, I look up at it and that's my inspiration to just keep going and fight for being successful and getting done with college.
Thank you so much, Terry, for sharing that. I know we all take inspiration from so many different places, but it's really appreciated because people will see your example and hopefully they will apply and have those same experiences and be able to move forward with their goals and what they want to do for their community and for their family. So thank you so much.
Yes.
I don't know if you have anything specific you want to share, Samuel, but we really want to have these last 15 minutes or so just for kind of Q&A, any specific questions that are coming through. I answered a few in the chat, but I didn't know if you saw any, Samuel, as you were kind of listening that maybe you wanted to respond to or to follow up with.
Yes, thank you, David. And I just want to give a big thank you to Terry for sharing your story and for offering your time to us today. Just such beautiful work that you're doing in your community and for your people. So we're really just really grateful to be connected with you. And then I want to give some gratitude to Gerald as well for opening us up with that song. Glad we were able to get that right, and his beautiful voice and his words, a very powerful grounding for us today. Yeah, I did want to kind of bring light to one of the questions that came up, and happy that some folks have been kind of dialoguing and talking about that with respect to records and trying to figure out where your relatives are. And that's a big question. And one of the issues that was discussed in chat was that often those records are dispersed in a variety of different locations. If institutions were run by church, organizations, church institutions, they're often in their own holdings, their own private collections. But for those that were run by the BIA or BIE, they can be held in NARA facilities, the National Archives and Records Administration. And to this point, there hasn't been a comprehensive effort to consolidate all of them in order to make them accessible to folks. And that's actually one of a major project that NABS is working on, is working with tribal nations, working with the federal government, both the Department of the Interior as well as the National Archives, to work towards centralizing in a digital data repository, a project that we're calling the National Indian Boarding School Digital Archive, a place where you could put the name of your relative to search across multiple repositories, either that are already accessible right now, or that are in our sites to be scanned and digitized. And part of that is also making sure that tribes, that nations have the first say in if those documents are even wanting to be online at all. We're firmly committed to what's known as Indigenous data sovereignty, this central component that these data belong to tribes. And so it's part of our work process, our working process, is to put that decision-making process, that blessing, so to speak, in the hands of tribes themselves. And so, that's a huge project for us going forward. Right now, it's very difficult to try to figure out if you have enough information, if you know what school, what institution that your relative went to, there is certainly kind of a rabbit hole right now that has to be undertaken in order to find out that information. So one of the major projects that we are working on is trying to make that a little bit of an easier process.
Thank you, Samuel. And there was one other question about if you had multiple relatives that had boarding school experiences, should you just focus on one or multiple, or do you have any advice in that area?
I would say that, that is a deeply personal story and a personal choice at that, and to let spirit lead you in what direction you want to be able to tell that story, because it is your story. We're not looking for a specific story when we have an opportunity for sharing dialogue like this. Depending on the type of relationship that you may have with your relatives that are currently that are still in your life right now, I think that ought to be a good place to start, and then to be gentle with yourself, to be kind and patient with yourself, as some of these conversations can definitely open up some old wounds potentially. As has been mentioned, these are not easy parts of ourselves that are there's not easy parts of ourselves to open up and get into. So please be patient, be kind to yourself, and there's always we do have trauma resources on our website. I can link that here in a moment. For if you're feeling like full of emotion, if it's getting to be too much, there are some resources that we have on our website. But we also know that as Indigenous people, we have the medicine that we know is needed to be able to get ourselves back in the right place. It's often getting outside, our language, water, nature. Being able to kind of allow the energy to move through us, not so that it stays with us. As we know, that stagnation can often be damaging. So we just hope that this dialogue seeking process is one that can expand into an ongoing process. To know about our history is to know ourselves. So we hope that that's what that can open up.
Yeah, thank you for that, Samuel. And I sometimes I kind of breeze by that too, but really the focus of this is healing. That's why we want you to have these conversations. That's why we want you to explore and talk. We know that the harmful impacts that these types of experiences can have when our relatives don't feel that they can talk, or they feel that they aren't enough because of what happened to them or the way that they were judged. So healing is a part of this. It's a part of what we do with our scholarship and moving forward, but it's also part of those discussions that we have, the ways that we work through all of these things from our past. There were several questions about specific scholarship categories. I'll go over a few of those really quickly. If you're a graduate student, if you're a non-traditional student, it really doesn't matter as long as you meet those minimum eligibility requirements that I went over earlier in the webinar. So be sure to go to collegefund.org/scholarships. Look at those minimum eligibility. Really, it's just full-time student for the next school year. You have to be either an enrolled member or descendant, and that can be parent or grandparent of an enrolled member that's enrolled in a state or federally recognized tribe. And that's it. We have a large number of non-traditional students that we work with, especially at tribal colleges, but in a lot of other institutions as well. So it's not just high school seniors, although we do have a lot of high school seniors that apply. And someone asked about the award amount. The award amount is $3,000 for the full school year coming up, and that's split into 2 semesters. So it would be $1,500 each semester for those 25 students that are awarded. However, I want you to apply even if you don't feel that you can meet the requirements for this specific scholarship, because we have 100 funded opportunities that are within that full circle scholarship program. And you may be better matched to one of those as well too, and that can help support you as well. So I'm sure Terry would tell you this, the most important thing to do is apply. You can't get the support unless you apply. And we also have new pools of money and scholars every year. So it's important to apply every year, even if you miss out on this specific opportunity. I was trying to see if there were any other questions here. Someone asked about the answering the yes if you're a descendant to be eligible for this opportunity. For this opportunity, yes. If you're clicking that you are a descendant of a boarding school survivor and then providing that information, that is what makes you eligible for this opportunity within our Full Circle Scholarship Program and application. Someone asked what happens to the stories after we share them. Really, they're just used for evaluation purposes for our scholarships. Now, there are opportunities where the college fund or the coalition would reach out to a student and see if they're comfortable sharing. That's how we did with Terry. We went to her and said, would you be comfortable sharing with other students to kind of promote this opportunity? And she said yes. But we don't just share your information out without permission or in any other way. Really, it's just for evaluating your application, for these opportunities. Oh, another question was when are awards given? So the awards are usually sent out in August. Usually it's at the end of July that we notify all scholarship recipients. And then that's when that process starts for us to confirm information and get those out to the schools. Awards are also sent directly to the institutions that you are attending. Someone asked about graduate and undergraduate. We provide opportunities for both. Like I said, as long as you meet those minimum requirements. The only programs that we do not fund directly from the Full Circle program are like vocational or technical programs. However, a lot of the tribal colleges that we support provide those types of opportunities and scholarships through them. We do provide a tribal college and university scholarship separate from this. And that's another advantage of attending those institutions. Not only is there no debt, but a lot of those schools you can get additional scholarship opportunities. And those can be used for things other than just your tuition, your books, any other direct needs that you have. We have a lot of students that use those to pay for a car repair, to help pay for childcare, to do all sorts of things to make their education possible. So don't think of it just as support just for those things, just to make it possible for you to do that, but all those things that are surrounded by your opportunity. You know, what are the things that you need to take care of to be able to go to school? So we're almost at the end of our time. Is there anything that you'd like to share, Terry, before we wrap up? We really appreciate you sharing. And Samuel, I would ask you to do the same, but Terry, why don't you go first?
So like David said, I encourage you all to apply. It won't hurt to just put your information in and be funded and take the opportunities while you have them at grasp, and maybe share with, you know, someone else that is in college or may not know or may not have been a part of the webinar. Just kind of get that information out there. And I do want to say your essays are important. A piece of my essay was made Forbes magazine in November, particularly for this scholarship. So just taking the time to put in the right words and of course meet the minimum requirement for the essay, and just apply yourselves to be successful and overcome any barriers that you currently are having through school. And then just pinagigi, that means thank you in my language, for having me and letting me share my story and everything. If you want to get more information, like I said, you can go to our website, whatjunthink.com, and then find my email if you have any questions or want anything on my end. I'm open to that as well. And thank you, David and Samuel and Gerard, for the prayer and song. Thank you.
I just want to say thank you again to Terry for being here with us. Very honored to be on this virtual stage with you and to be able to share some of these opportunities. We understand that this scholarship may not cover absolutely all of the expenses. We know education is, you know, excessively priced, and that is an issue in and of itself. If we could, we would fund everyone, right? But we hope that this is a small contribution, or a meaningful contribution rather, that can, you know, help at least relieve that tension a little bit, as we know that these costs can be really excessive. So ultimately, we aim to just support one another. We hope to be in relationship through this program, but hopefully it can grow beyond that. So please consider joining the coalition. Membership is free. We want to be able to engage with you in multiple levels, and this being just a small part of that. So we hope that we can continue to support this. Please keep in touch with our work. You can find us on Facebook at National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition, on Instagram at NABSHC, Twitter at NABSHC, YouTube channel, all that good stuff. We're just a couple of clicks away. So please do keep us in mind, stay in the loop with us, and we look forward to seeing you all again soon. Lasso Kamati.
Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Terry. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone that attended today. Just a reminder, we will be sending out a recording of this event to all the registrants, and that email will also include all these links to our scholarship, links to the National Native American Boarding School Healing Coalition, and to any other these things that you're asking about. And we're always available, just like Samuel said, his team is available. If you have questions afterwards, feel free to email us, contact us, reach out through our website or our social media channels. I know we answer questions in a lot of different spaces, but we appreciate the attention. Please, if this isn't for you, share this with somebody else. Have those conversations and discussions. You know, bring those things into the open and help with the healing that we are working towards as a community. So thank you all today. Have a great afternoon and a great day, and we will see you soon. Thank you.